Believe me, I am just as excited about this as you guys are.
Welcome back to the Tacomaholic channel, everybody. We finally have a good weather day. It is sunny, even though I'm in the shade working because the house is blocking the sun. Only about 50 degrees here, so I finally have a good weather day to talk about these sweet new seats. If this is your first time swinging by and you love everything related to Tacomas, go ahead and subscribe now. All right, everybody, just to get this out of the way in the very beginning of the video, this video is going to be kind of weird because I will be showing you the install of these. They are Scion FR-S seats. I believe any years from like 2013 to the present will work, so I'm going to show you that, but I will not be showing you the wiring because obviously we're talking about airbags in the seats. You guys know I'm not an electrical guy. I don't know anything about that stuff, so I don't want to give you like bad information that could potentially get you killed. I will, however, link to a thread on Tacoma World where the original owner of these seats and the guy who did all this wiring and actually knows what he's talking about goes through in detail, probably more detail than you want, on how to make it work. So I do encourage you to check that out. That link will be in the video description down below. Please check it out, read through the whole thread if you are serious about installing these seats. I would hate to see any of you mess up on the wiring, get killed in an accident because your airbags don't go off. That being said, let's check out these sweet seats. Now, if you guys are interested in grabbing a set of these for yourself, obviously I would first recommend going to like a good local scrapyard, junkyard, see if you can get any. Like I said, probably 2013 to 2020 Subaru BRZ, Scion FR-S, or Toyota 86. Those seats should work. That's obviously going to be your cheapest option, but if you don't have any good local junkyards, like we don't have any here in Northern Virginia that I've been able to find, just looking around on eBay, it looks like you can get a pair of them for about $500. I've seen them usually going for about $300, but then another $200 to ship, so certainly not cheap, but it's still much more cost effective than going with like brand new aftermarket seats, which for the same style, it usually looks like they're around $750 to $1,000. So that's the price point you can expect. Huge upgrade in my opinion, and obviously they are super comfortable, well worth it in my opinion. Here is an up-close shot of the seat brackets. Now, unless you have the fabrication skills to make the factory FR-S seat brackets work with the Toyota mounting locations, you are going to have to buy aftermarket brackets. These are already, like I said, I'm getting this like pretty much third hand, and all of this was done for me, but the initial guy who did all these, he got these from Planted Seat Brackets. I will put a link for them down in the description below. Obviously, there's one for the driver's side and passenger side, so you'd have to get one of each. They are not cheap by any means, but they are solid, and they do line up perfectly when you select the one for the Tacoma. And the second-gen Tacoma seats, they all mount the same, so 2005 to 2015. These brackets right here will apply to all of that, but even if you're looking at other aftermarket seat companies, like even the higher-end ones like Sparco and all those, these seat brackets are always going to be expensive, usually around 100 to 150 bucks a piece. That is just the nature of the beast. Now, while I have the seat out here, and I did take it out just to show you guys like in person, it's sort of weird moving around the inside of the truck while it's installed. Obviously, some of you are probably wondering, why did I go with the red trim versus orange? Well, they do have a tan that sort of looks orange, but not really. And that might have been a little better, but really, for the deal I got on these, I really can't complain that much. Plus, I have a few red accents on the truck anyway, with, you know, stuff like the Tacoma on my logo, wind visor, all that kind of stuff, red fire extinguisher back there. So obviously, beggars can't be choosers for the deal I got in these things. So aside for the slight color discrepancy with the red versus orange, the biggest drawback on these seats, and I'm not really sure if it's even going to show up on camera, is the middle fabric part. This is suede, and it is wrapped with like leather around the back and the sides. And the suede acts like a magnet for every little piece of dust or hair or whatever. And I don't even have like a dog or a pet that sheds hair, and there's still like little hairs all over the place on here, so I don't know what these are from. But if you have like a lint roller or something like that, obviously not that big of an issue. Just keep that in mind. And the old Tacoma seats were gray, so it sort of hides all that stuff anyway. But aside from that, love the way these seats look. The factory Tacoma seats are definitely lacking in the comfort department, especially on longer trips. And obviously I can't really tell you how good these seats feel. If you have the chance to go like to a car dealership and sit in a used Scion FR-S, Subaru BRZ, or Toyota 86, they all use the same seats, so you can sit in them and check them out just to see if you like the comfort level. But for me, this seat feels amazing. It's like the perfect balance of firmness and softness, definitely making it more comfortable. I've already driven in them like for a few hour long trip, Felt amazing compared to the factory seats. And then obviously you have a ton more support down here on your legs, which is certainly nice. Obviously this is on a Scion, so it's more for like taking corners at higher speeds, but it also translates well to off-roading, just giving you a little more support so you're not sliding all over the place here on your thighs. And then all up down in here on the side for your lumbar, your shoulders, these flare out a little bit. I'll show you the side so you can see that. And then even on the head, it's sort of the way it's angled versus the Tacoma seat, which just feels like it's straight up and down. It's angled forward a little bit just to keep your head from like slamming back and forth. Obviously, if you're wheeling that hard, this is probably gonna feel amazing. Now, I was able to pick these seats up from a local Tacoma friend. I'll put his Instagram handle right down here so you can check him out, Pre-Runner Crypto. He installed these seats on his Tacoma and he ran them for a few weeks, but he is 6'5", and I want to say 315, so just a little bit bigger than me, and he felt like the seats were a little too tight for him. So if you are a larger guy of that caliber, probably aren't going to be for you. You could always test them out and see, but for someone my size, or even, you know, maybe like 6 feet or under, it feels perfect as long as you're not like too wide for the middle, because I would imagine the supports would feel like they're pinching you. Maybe feel like you're buried in a coffin. So if you're someone my size, you'll probably love the way this seat feels. Now on the driver's side specific seat, you do have the lever that, you know, moves the seat back forward and backwards. Obviously in the front, just like on the factory seats, you have the metal bar to slide the whole seat on the bracket. And one cool feature, especially if you're a shorty like me, is this lever right here. You can pull it up or down to actually raise or lower the seat bottom, giving you a better view. Perfect if you're a shorter guy like me, you can raise it up, or if you're tall, you can put it down. I'll show you how that works in just a second.
Yes. Yes.
If I could guess, I'd probably say you have about 2 inches up or down of travel to mess with that lever. So that is definitely a nice feature to have that the factory Tacoma seats obviously are lacking. There is a strap right here. It buttons here at the top. I assume this is on the Scions and BRZs and all that, where the seatbelt goes through. Doesn't really work with the Tacoma seatbelt, so I just sort of have the seatbelt outside of that, not even using it, but it's stitched here at the bottom. Or actually, no, it is. I guess I could take that whole thing off. I didn't even really looked at that before.
Fail!
Cancel that. It's stitched at the top, even though it looks like a button, and button at the bottom, so I guess I'll just leave it on there for now. The bad news, they are not 100% plug and play with the airbag sensors and all the safety plugs. There are 3 plugs on the driver's side, if I remember correctly, and 4 on the passenger side, because the passenger side obviously has a weight sensor that if you don't have a passenger in it, it by default turns that airbag off, just to save you a little bit of money in the case that you are in an accident and don't have a passenger. That airbag won't go off, so they are not plug and play. The wiring is, I don't want to say super complicated, but it's definitely more complicated than someone with my skill set, so please check out that thread on Tacoma World if you are serious about grabbing a set of these for your truck. Already got everything loosened up. Why this is tipped up, which I of course did to unplug all the stuff right here. I wanted to show you all the guts underneath on the driver's side to show you what was done. This is the factory wiring harnesses for the 3 plugs that go into the seat. Obviously you see the gray, yellow, and black. Nothing was changed on this end, and I'm not specifically sure what was changed up here underneath. And again, this is something I'm not gonna like give advice on. I don't like have the technical background to give you proper wiring electrical advice, especially for something like this where you're talking about airbags where your life literally could depend on it. So again, I'm gonna direct you to that thread on Tacoma World, a link down in the video description so you can see that. But while I have this seat flipped up here, I just wanna show you, obviously you have the gray plug, all the colors line up, the gray to gray, yellow to yellow up here, and then the black right here. There's like a triangle tab on the other side of this that has it clipped into this metal bracket right here. But there's everything, just to show you what it looks like, how this was pre-wired. Again, I got a good deal on this. It was already done for me, so it was plug and play on my end. And then you have the yellow wire here going back. Again, not exactly sure where that's going, but I'm not giving advice on this stuff, just showing you guys what it is. You really need to check out that thread on Tacoma World to see if you can tackle that wiring yourself, and if you have any questions about it, since it is such a potentially dangerous thing if you mess it up. And here's a quick sort of top view down. You can see by the center console, just to show you the fitment. They are definitely a little smaller than the Tacoma seats, which Might not sound like much. I want to say like at the widest point, it's about a 1/2 inch space you have here, whereas before it was just a little bit tighter. And the same on the other side. I'm just sort of leaning on the seat, but this is where you can really tell the difference. So a little more space right here, which I kind of like. It makes it easier to get in there and like vacuum or clean out if you are OCD about keeping your truck clean like I am. And now I'm just going to give you guys some quick measurements at the widest parts of the seats, just so you can sort of measure your seats and compare. So here on the bottom, the widest part of the part that's going to bolster your thigh looks like it is right at 20 inches. And I'm just measuring to the fabric, not the actual plastic sticking out here for the handle. Bottom part of the support to the edge of the leather looks like it's about 19 1/4. Here's through the middle, about 19. And up here at the top, at the widest part of the shoulder supports, looks like it's right at 20 inches. And I do have my WeatherTech sort of just folded out of the way, but here you can see how they mount in the back. I am running those 1-inch spacers right here, but otherwise they do just bolt directly to the floor. And here's what they look like from the back. This is all black leather. The headrest is 100% suede with the red stitching right here, and some nice red accents down the side, which I think there's a zipper tucked around here, so I could take that off if I wanted to like give them a super cleaning. The driver's side, it does not have like a storage pocket right here on the back. Passenger side does, so you can put like your sun visors or anything you want in the back right over there. Alright guys, so in addition to the 3 plugs the driver's side has, I'm here on the passenger side obviously. I do have a switch now to get the airbag to work because the way the original owner did it, he wasn't able to, I guess, make it work just by default. So I do have a switch now that I have to press just to turn the airbag on, but no big deal. I have not installed this yet. It is obviously wired up and working fine. I'm actually going to do a separate video on this because this switch right here is the same size that fits down here by your USB and 8-track switch, and I do have 2 blank slots, so I'm actually going to do a separate video for that, showing you how to add a switch to one of these ports right here, because it is not exactly easy. You have to sort of go a weird route to actually get here, so stay tuned for that. And this switch specifically right now, it's like I said, it's wired up, it works. There is a separate, they're sort of tied off right here. You can see the blue and the black. Those are wires I can actually, the black is ground, the blue is positive. I can tap in somewhere so to have that switch illuminate at night. And I contacted the original owner, and he actually recommended just tapping into the switch or the bulb right here for your shifter indicator that comes on when your parking lights are on. So if that light comes on, just like the other lights on your dash, the switch down here for the airbags will work as well. Now, to actually activate the arming and disarming feature using the switch for the passenger side airbag, you do need what is called an OCS bypass module from Metaltech 4x4. I will put a link in the description down below where you can check that out. I looked today and it looks like the Metaltech 4x4 website says they're not currently taking orders for that piece, so you might have to wait a little while if this is something you want to do. So just keep that in mind. They might have like a mailing list or something you can sign up for notifications on that. But you do need that OCS module to be able to disarm and arm the passenger airbag. Alright everybody, that will do it for the Scion FR-S seat install in a Toyota Tacoma. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, apologies that it took so long. It's been freezing here in Northern Virginia, or it's always been raining or overcast and just pretty much crappy recording conditions for making your videos. Don't forget to check out that thread on Tacoma World for all the wiring and stuff. Go ahead and comment below. Let me know what you think of the seats. I absolutely love them. One of my favorite mods I've done to the truck so far. As always, thank you so much for supporting the channel by watching this video. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you in the next video.